Okay, sorry about the delay. Gurmila Mayoga was in Curry, the Lords and Sean up. But while I'm awake, it's a Curry overdose the National Graves Association as a Curry sin. First, I'd like to thank the National Graves Association for tonight's invitation. While they're short notice or not, it's a privilege to speak at an event like this. I'd like to thank the National Graves Association firstly for their work to commemorate all those who've given their lives in the struggle to achieve an independent Irish Socialist Republic. Their work isn't just about erecting memorials and paying tribute to our patriot dead. It's about also remembering the lives of these great men and women, and it reminds us, the living, that much work remains to be done. I've never been a great one for visiting graveyards, but when I'm in Milltown, I like to stop for a few minutes by the Republican plaque, erected and cared for by the National Graves Association. These are precious moments of quiet reflection, of personal memories of the men and women buried there. On one occasion, I was approached by a volunteer who had a brother and a partner buried in a Republican plaque. We moved silently along, stopping at the graves of our friends, when he said quietly, "There's some commitment buried here." That thought always sends me away again, re-energised, a bit more refocused, and determined to finish their work. And Republicans all over this island come away from the graves of our patriot dead more determined to better the conditions of the living, to break the connection with Britain, and to bring our Republican principles of liberty, equality, justice and fraternity to all the people of this country. For all of this, we owe the National Graves Association a huge debt. Tonight, we pay tribute to Liam Mellows, one of a long line of Irish Republicans who embraced those core principles of modern Irish republicanism, handed down to us by the United Irish Society of the 1790s, who in turn had been inspired by the American and French revolutionaries of the 1770s and 80s. I first heard of Liam Mellows as a child, but only because he was executed by the Free State government on the same day as an old friend of my grandfather, Joe McKelvey, on 8th of December 1922. But like many Republicans, my knowledge of Liam Mellows, as he signed his name, and his contribution to the Irish freedom struggle deepened only when I read Desmond Greaves' Liam Mellows and the Irish Revolution. I dipped in and out of Greaves' book this week since Joe sprang it on me that I'd be here tonight. Liam Mellows was born in a military barracks in Lancashire, England on May 25th, 1892. His father, like many other Irish men at the time, was a British soldier. Mellows suffered from ill health as a child, and his family sent him to his grandparents' home, the Jordans, near Castletown, County Wexford. There he was exposed to the tales of the men and women of the United Irish Society involved in the 1798 revolution. Mellows joined his family in Dublin in the early years of the last century, and he worked as a clerk. In 1911, he decided to go and talk to an old Fenian, Tom Clark, who owned a tobacconist shop in the then Great Britain Street, today's Parnell Street in Dublin. Mellows joined the Fianna Éireann, which had been set up 2 years previously by Countess Markievicz. He quickly became an officer in the Fianna before being recruited by Con Colbert into the IRB in 1912. By April 1913, Mellows was travelling through Kilkenny, Tipperary, Waterford and Wexford as a Fianna organiser and making contact with IRB centres. He later visited Belfast on an anti-enlistment drive when posters were put up on the Crumlin and Springfield roads, and he stayed in James Connolly's home at Glenolina Terrace on the Falls Road. He didn't meet Connolly, however, until late in 1913, when Connolly was recovering from a hunger strike in jail during the Dublin workers' lockout, which had begun in August that year. The first public meeting to launch the Irish Volunteers was held at the Rotunda in Dublin on November 25th, 1913. Mellows was elected as a Fianna representative to the Volunteer Executive. He played an active role in bringing the 900 rifles and 30,000 rounds of ammunition landed at Hove by Erskine Childers aboard the Asgard back into Dublin in August and September 1914. The volunteer movement split in the autumn of 1914. Supporters of the Irish Parliamentary Party under John Redmond broke from the Irish Volunteers and formed the National Volunteers, backing the British at the outbreak of World War I. Mellows remained as Secretary of the Irish Volunteers and was asked to take responsibility for organising South Galway. He worked tirelessly to build up the volunteer organisation in the county. He organised open outdoor drilling in Athenry and surrounding towns in defence of the RIC. When Sean McDermott was arrested in 1915 at an anti-enlistment meeting in Tuam, he slipped his automatic pistol to Mellows as he was being taken away for 6 months imprisonment. Mellows was now organising training camps in South Galway and coming under increased attention from the RIC. He was ordered in July 1915 by the British to leave for England within a week. He spent a short period on the run before being arrested in Wexford and sentenced to 3 months in Mountjoy, which he spent with McDermott. He returned to the Volunteer Central Council on his release in October. Mellows was arrested again in Athenry in March 1916 after an incident where volunteers wounded police raiding their headquarters in Tullamore, County Offaly. He was deported to England. His brother Barney came over with James Connolly's daughter Nora, and Barney took Liam's place while he returned to Ireland via Scotland dressed as a priest. He stayed overnight at Connolly's home in Belfast before heading for Dublin. There, Pearse and McDermott sent him back to Galway in the run-up to Easter Sunday to take charge of the volunteers. Despite the confusion in the country following Owen McNeill's order to cancel the raising on Easter Sunday, Mellows succeeded in rallying around 600 men in Galway to take part in the action on Easter Monday, despite having weapons for only 400. They cut rail and telegraph lines, blocked roads, attacked Clarence Bridge and Athenry police barracks, and occupied the village of Oranmore until British troops arrived from Galway. Mellows with a small party covered the withdrawal, showing great personal courage, firing at the enemy with a Peter the Painter, a Mauser pistol. He went on the run in County Clare, where he was sheltered in a hut on a mountain by sympathisers for 4 months. It was only then that he had learned of the executions of his friends, Tom Clark, McCurry, McDermott, Connolly, Con Culbert, and the 11 others. He was then ordered by the IRB to go to America, and he went there via Liverpool in October 1916 before reaching the US in December. Mellows immediately reported to the Old Fenian John Devoy. He began to write for the Gaelic American newspaper and appeared at Clonmel meetings. He was involved in attempts to reopen the German connection in an effort to get arms, but was eventually arrested in the US while trying to get to Europe by sea. He spent a period of time in Tombs Prison, New York, charged with trying to procure a false seaman certificate. Following his release on bail, he continued to oppose Irish involvement in the war and campaigned instead for recognition of the Republic. In his absence, Mellows was elected to 2 seats, in Meath and East Galway, when Sinn Féin won 73 seats out of 105 in the 1918 Westminster elections, a huge endorsement of the demand for an independent Irish Republic. After being seriously ill with the flu, which claimed millions of lives in the winter of 1918-19, and finally being fined $250 for his passport offences, which the courts heard were clearly political, Mellows was determined to head home. Instead, Sinn Féin President Eamon de Valera landed unexpectedly in the States in May 1919 to lobby for US support in dollars for the Dáil. Mellows became organiser of de Valera's tour of US cities after Harry Boland fell ill. The tour was punishing, but Mellows put huge energy into the task, and he worked with de Valera until late 1920. His own father had died in August that year, and he decided that he had had enough of America. He arrived home in October, just days before the death of Terence McSweeney on hunger strike. He made contact with the volunteers, and by November, just days after the IRA executed 14 members of the British intelligence's Carroll gang, he was made Director of Purchases to organise the purchase of arms, explosives and chemicals, and was brought onto the Army Council. Mellows worked from then until after the truce of July 1921, moving around the country and visiting Britain, trying to bring in supplies for the IRA and replacing lines knocked out by the British. He continued to bring in arms and explosives into the country during the negotiations which followed the truce. When he heard of the treaty made by the Irish delegation with the British government on December 6, 1921, he was appalled, and he wanted to arrest the delegation as it landed back in England. He was a strident opponent of the treaty, and he spoke passionately against it during the Dáil debates. Mellows said, "We are not afraid of the facts. The facts are that the Irish Republic exists. People are talking today of the will of the people, when the people themselves have been stampeded, as I know because I paid a visit to my constituency. The people are being stampeded. In the people's mind there is only one alternative to this treaty, and that is terrible, immediate war. During the adjournment, I paid a trip to the country and I found that the people who are in favour of the treaty are not in favour of the treaty on its merits, but are in favour of the treaty because they fear what is to happen if it is to be rejected. That is not the will of the people, that is the fear of the people. The will of the people was when the people declared for a republic." The Dáil approved the treaty on January 7, 1922 by a vote of 64 to 57. The treaty split the cabinet, the Dáil, the volunteers and the country. On March 26, Mellows presided over a convention of anti-treaty volunteers in the Mansion House. The convention reaffirmed the allegiance of the IRA to the Republic. When the convention reassembled on April 9th, Mellows was named Secretary of the Army Council. Liam Lynch was appointed as Chief of Staff. On April 13th, the Army Executive set up headquarters in the Four Courts, and 120 men and women of the Dublin Brigade garrisoned the law building by the Liffey. Next day, as Secretary of the Army Council, Mellows wrote to Dáil Éireann, setting out the conditions upon which the Council is prepared to discuss measures by which the unity of the Army may be attained. Following up on this initiative of Mellows, which was also pressed by Harry Boland, Eamon de Valera and Michael Collins signed a pact on May 20th calling for a panel of candidates, a coalition government and an Army Council of 8, 4 Republicans and 4 treatyites to control a reunified IRA. The object of the pact was to halt the drift to civil war. Mellows was a member of the Army Council of 8, which had a brief life. The pact collapsed on the eve of the election. At dawn on 28th of June 1922, under threat from the British of a resumption of hostilities, the Free State government ordered the bombardment of the Four Courts. The shelling signalled the start of the Civil War. The Four Courts in flames, the garrison surrendered at midday on June the 30th, despite the strenuous objections of Mellows. The prisoners were taken to Mountjoy jail. Potter O'Donnell later wrote, "In the angry mood of the thronged cells in Mountjoy jail, the prisoners instinctively returned to Mellows for answers as to what had gone wrong." In response to these questions and news from the outside, Mellows wrote his notes from Mountjoy jail. Addressed to Austin Stack, the letters were not intended for publication, but they fell into the hand of the treaty-aid authorities and were released to the newspapers under scare headlines and, of course, communist threats. Mellows' intent was to rally the people behind the Republic. The first letter, dated August 25, 1922, is in